I had the mic muted too. Let's start over. I'm here. I'm combobulated. This will be a little bit of a different stream. I might build potentially the base for this thing tonight as I'm getting ready to paint it. But otherwise, I thought I would sit back and let it rotate for a second and let you guys look at it. And then I'll maybe kind of go over it and give you a little bit of a review of how the build has actually gone. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. This thing actually turned out pretty nice. Overall, it took about 50 hours or so to build. And it is absolutely loaded with gimmicks. I think right now, without the armor pieces on, it's currently weighing in at roughly about 3 pounds. Or at least that's the way it feels. I haven't actually weighed it yet. Oh, the head's a little pointing up. Let me fix that. There we go. My mic does not like its current position. How are you today, buddy? We move it back just a little bit. We finished the Dominator. You guys actually helped me build it. I think you were here for almost every stream. And I appreciate that. Let me see if I can focus this thing a little bit better. There we go. She turned out pretty nice. Here in a second, I'll pause the turnstile. Glad to see chat's working. I actually started the stream completely unlisted today, and it didn't quite work right. And you'll have to forgive the avatar if it's a little spazzy today too. We're doing things from a different angle because I wouldn't be able to show this to you from up above like this. And I might build the base tonight. I'm thinking if I'm moving to paint, I might as well paint the base while I'm doing the most of the steel metal colored parts. And yeah, so I don't know if we'll get that far, but I kind of wanted to do like a live review of it. And I'll probably chop it up for a video, but let me turn this thing off real quick. Anything you'd like to know about her? I will actually show you the LEDs. They're surprisingly easy to turn on. It's pretty cool. We'll let her rotate back around. And let me pull up the OBS because I'm looking at things in slow speed. That's better. Okay. This tells me a little bit more of what things actually look like. Much better. This was a difficult stream to get combobulated. Just moving everything around the room kind of threw me for a loop. But, my friend, let me zoom in just a hair. I'll get this mic out of the way. Hopefully you can still hear me. As I move the mic around tonight, if I get tough to hear, feel free to jump in and tell me. But, yeah, she turned out beautiful. I played around with a little bit of the lighting tonight, too, to try to get the colors accurate. Might be a little oversaturated. I might be able to turn that down just a hair. That's a little better. Oh, well, that changed everything. Maybe sometimes I should just leave things alone. Anyhow, so, yeah, you've seen the cockpit gimmicks and stuff, but watch this. Wait, there's more. Now keep in mind, as we were building her, I didn't put this fin in every... I put that one fin in, and I left the rest out, because I have a feeling it's going to be inseparable. I'll have to mask that one when I paint it. Although I don't know if I'm going to paint those parts. That may be one of the colors I leave as is. It's kind of... That purple's kind of nice. I might do a little weathering to it. Let me know what you think. But, all of those open up. Let me rotate her around. This is why I got the turnstile out tonight. I'm trying to handle it as little as possible. Well, thank you, my friend. It is pretty dope. I dig it. In fact, I'm gonna do something you guys don't see me do unless I'm painting. Unless I'm totally out of them. But, I think we're putting some gloves on for this one. I kind of think it's a must. I think at this point, I'm a little leery that if this is coated with straight up lacquers, my glove broke. If these are coated with lacquer paints, just handling them with those metal colors, if they haven't clear coated it, there's even a few places where it almost looks like the oil on my fingers is starting to pull it off raw from messing with it. I am going to get a little solvents out, and I might even do it tonight just to test it so everybody else knows out there that decides to paint this thing. But, yeah, I'm probably going to wear some gloves tonight when I'm handling this. I'd like to put it in some poses for you guys. We'll probably have to take the shields off to do that. And there's a bit of an issue with the front skirt. And I realize now, as I was going through some of the leftovers runners, there's... What colors? You know, so I meant to start a poll on that. I'm debating between painting her in the Shar-Aznable red that you see some of the metal builds in, and perhaps, I have a thing about a lot of kits. I just kind of want an original colored one, but one in a more realistic kind of look with some pre-shading and just a slight bit of weathering. Nothing heavy. Maybe sometimes heavy, but in this instance, you know, it was Marita Cruz's suit. It would naturally have a little bit of weathering, but, you know, she's a new type. Gonna be hard to see her. So if you guys would like to see, I finally did get the LEDs. What color do you think I should paint her, Pinner? Any thoughts? I also thought about just purple. For some weird reason, I think this kit would look really good in some various shades of purple. Not candied, just a matte. But, so that's with the LEDs. They have a flicker gimmick, and you can actually make them stay on, I believe, if I'm following the instructions right. I'm not sure if it's position? That made them go off, didn't it? And then they come on. I think if you go halfway and come back on, they stay solid. Nope, they start to flicker again. Green and red. Like, together? Are we talking Christmas colors? Oh. So the funny thing is, to turn them off, let me take the shields off and I'll show you guys this. And as I do this, I have discovered as I've been messing with this, if you rotate one shield out, it just balances it. And let's hope she doesn't fall over on me. I was shooting a short the other night, and she took a spill off the desk twice. Now see, now they've come on solid colors. Allow me to focus that for you. My apologies. Now they're blinking in, so I stand corrected. I don't know what I'm talking about. But apparently, I'm going to try to get into the light here, really let you guys see this. There's a couple, see those three detail points, here, here, and here. So I guess when you touch the magnets to one of those points, that's how you turn them off and on. And I guess it's supposed to be also how you can change the settings. But I haven't quite mastered that one yet. Maybe we'll figure that out tonight. Now, is this one staying solid or is it going to blink? I'm kind of curious. But the shields are kind of cool. To change the batteries, better angle here. Oh, gentle. That pops off and then they're just right there, as you can see. Let me turn this up a little bit. I don't know that I got this light on full power. I guess I do. But the batteries are right there, and that's basically how you change them out. Now, one thing I did realize, there's two little tabs here on the top side of the pot where the positive contact is. And with every single unit, I actually had to, and this would be easier. I bring this up because this would be a lot easier to do if I had known this going into it. You gotta take some tweezers and bend those tabs and put more tension on them, or they just flicker. So if you are building this kit and you have trouble with these batteries, there's two little tabs in here. Take the batteries out, get some flat tweezers in there, and just bend them gentle because you don't want to snap them. Bend them a little bit more, and they'll stay on better. But it's a pretty clever little system that they come up with. And the funny thing is there's only 3 or 4 LEDs in here. This is all done by fiber optics. It was very cool what they did. So anyway, other gimmicks of the shield. You got this arm, and this feels very, very fragile to me. Purple would be dope too, Pinner says. Yes, it would. You probably said that a while ago. I'm sorry I didn't notice it sooner. It's been a long day. I'm a little high strung. Just type louder. Anyhow, but yeah, you got the claw. I really like it. I'm thoroughly impressed with this kit. Now it's not exactly a cheap kit. They're generally ranging from about 180 to 100 up to 250 bucks with shipping by the time you get one here. Fun fact, I did get a notification from New Type HQ about a week and a half ago that they actually had them back in stock. So if anybody's looking to get one, there is a dealer in the US that may still have them. And then you touch it with the battery and it turns off. It's really user friendly, and installing it was relatively easy. I forgot a silver part that's supposed to be on there. I think this is supposed to be one of Satria's laser cannons. But anyway, so that's kind of how the shields work. The arms, since I got this one off, I'll show this to you guys, and hopefully I won't knock it over. But yeah, so let me zoom in on this a little bit. Change the camera angle slightly. Boy, that's fuzzy. That's actually what it looks like when I look at the instructions. Anyhow. So, the shield gimmick's kind of cool. I'm going to take this back one off for a second. In fact, we're going to take all the shields off because we're going to start getting into this. Let me just... one thing I can tell you, anybody messing with this kit, if you take one shield off, it will pop out of balance on you. For sure. Turn off. Turn off. This little piece actually has a... I didn't show that to you guys. So this is where the other silver magnet goes. There, that's a little better. Come on, focus. I think I'm just too close for this lens. Anyhow, it becomes a little barrel that sits on the base. And this would actually be, I mean, to scale, probably as tall as a human. Anyhow, I'm going to stick it to the mic real quick. Let me get these other shields off of her. Oh, I didn't show you guys this part either. And I guess this is just a shield extension. So that guy pops out too. Doesn't really do much. But... and then these also extend. That's a terrible shot. I wish you guys could physically yell at me in real time. But these extend too. But yeah, so that's the shields. Let me Stay right there. Anyway, going back to these arms here, let me get this last one off. I'm just going to let this one go disco in the background for now. Turn these off too. But, so the arms have a nice locking mechanism. These guys up here, you touch them on top, and that unlocks it there. And there's some good travel, and it'll lock back in. And then this middle one, right here, this moves up and down. And you push it down to unlock it? Oh, I'm sorry. It's not up and down. It pushes in and out. Pushed forward, it locks. Pushed back, it unlocks. And then the last one here. And then, do we got that locked? We do. Push that in. Unlocks it. Push it back forward, it locks it. And then this one up here lifts up. And this one's actually my favorite. And this is part of the reason I took the shields off to show it to you. But it's got some nice piston action to it. Try to do this without getting my fingers in the way. There we go. It's a little stiff. Camera up more. That's better. But yeah, it's got some real nice, and they're coated, so I don't know that I'm going to paint those. I probably will paint the outer pistons. I might add some chrome to them. We'll see. I kind of like them looking a little dirty since they're on the outside of the suit. But yeah, to put this back down, you got to push that up and then there. Now, the shoulders are kind of unique too. This guy slides down and back, and it, there we go, locks into position. I think that's just part of the Psycho Frame expansion. But you got, oh, didn't show that to you well. Let me get some tweezers. You got the up and down. And then I'm going to show this one to you guys from behind. They got, so if you see this here, there's a piston here. And this shoulder, this is really hard to do, and I haven't quite got the hang of it yet. Ah! There we go. But it rotates just a little bit. There we go. I did it right that time. And I guess that's just how it does the in and out. It's a pretty neat little gimmick. It's a little not what you'd be used to, but just a little bit of rotation to it. Tiny bit. So that part's pretty cool. Oh, the music stopped. Maybe that's better. Where's my media player? Anyhow, yeah. I'm gonna take the shield arms off. Funny thing about sharing this with you guys is I'm basically taking it kind of back apart to paint it. So disassembling it in the process isn't kind of a natural course of things. But let me get these guys off. It is surprisingly easy to handle for its size and complexity. It's very well structured as far as everything on it kind of makes sense, and it even has a good amount of balance to it. They did a really good job of proportion and weight and stability. There has been a couple times that it likes to lean over a little bit at the waist with the shields on, but some of that is trying to extend the shields too far, and there's kind of a balance that you have to maintain in it to get it to do it and not fall over. But yeah, so this was the one major folly. I think you know this pinner, you've been around. Better way of doing this. There we go. So, right there is where I broke the mounting part to the waist skirt. And I did that, and I bring this up for anybody that builds this. Be very careful about the way you orientate the peg. It is a slotted thing with a bevel on one side, and I put mine in backwards after I realized it, and it didn't line up quite properly. I tried to take it out, and it broke. The solution to that I've come up with for now sticky tack. But that is a temporary solution. I think what I'm actually going to do, and this part extends also. This part extends also. But it's a simple extension. Sits on like that and basically slides forward. That's about it. This will all be exposed. That's definitely going to get painted, and I think this is one of the colors that will of the inner frame that's definitely going to be painted. I'm going to try not to make it look too metallic, because I think if I do, it's going to match what's already coated too well. So I'm a little torn on what that color is really going to be. I think if I add too much metal flake to that, it's going to look silver. I might just paint it maybe well, if you want to see, not the frame gray, new accent. I think you might be getting this linen gray. That may be a little too close to the other color, though. I have a few up there to choose from. I just haven't decided on the one yet. But it's definitely getting some color. I don't know if I should leave it flat or add metallic. But what I'm thinking about doing to fix it is that part goes in here and it fits. You can't see him in the camera, and there's no way I'd zoom in on it for you, but it fits kind of in this corner. So I have to be very careful about how I do it, but I'm hoping to very gently, maybe half circle leading into it, and insert this piece of brass through there, trim it to smooth, and hopefully it'll create a new pivot point for it. I don't know if this is going to work. That's what I'm thinking about trying, though. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, let's move on. So, on that note, I think I've shown you fully expanded. And that consists of lifting, this took me forever to figure out. So this thing right here, tilt down. So as I was building this, I felt like this here, because it actuates all of this and their extension. These panels here basically lock it in place. You won't be able to move it unless you lift them up first. And it's not so much this. If you try to do that, you might break it. But there is a motion there. It's not so much out, and it's not so much back. It's kind of a upwards motion. And that throws those boys out. And these ones are really smooth and easy to actuate. But it was a very interesting thing. It took me a minute. I actually took this apart a few times thinking that I did it wrong. But it's up and then, you know, out. The funny thing is as you put the armor parts on, there's even more hatches that get made as they get applied. Let me turn this around and see if I can open all of them up, and I'll give you a nice view of the legs. A lot of detail in it, though. Like, a lot of detail. I'll open it or all up for you. And there's a part of me that wants to run LEDs down to these thrusters here. Very tempted to. There's plenty of room in it. I'm just not sure if I want to do that to myself, but I'm very much thinking about it. That's kind of like these ones here. At the waist. Move up a little bit. Ah, there we go. I'm very tempted to put LEDs in these. And again, I think there's plenty of room. None of this will be seen after the armor is applied, but there's so much detail there. I do think this is going to be a color that gets painted. This is going to be a color that gets painted, which is this color here. And I think this darker color needs paint. And then I think I should brushwork in all the details. Let me know what you think about that one. I might be getting over. It'll be a lengthy paint job. Probably a lot more going into the inner frame to not be seen than going into the armor parts. But this hatch opens. Not very much, mind you. If you try to open it too far, it does break. And there's not a terrible amount of movement in the skirts. But enough. We bring it around to the side. I like how they did these skirts. They have the universal pivot point here, and they also pivot up here off of the pipes. So try to be gentle as I do this. They come up that way. Ah, my arm's in the way. There we go, that's better. But then they have this pivot too. So a lot of movement, you know. A lot of posability in it. These expand. This is another Psycho Frame expansion right here. This little guy right here, and I'm sure it's easier to do with the armor. Just a slight expansion, much like Zosabe or New Gundam. I do like the extra bit of detail there. All that gets covered up. Don't mind the sticky tack. That's to keep the front piece on. Anyway, if we bring it back around, just more detail. all the way around to the back skirt. And if you've been tuning into the other streams, you've seen this, but I've gotten better at doing it in one fell swoop. That's it. That's all you got to do. Simple pull down. These come up, and the tanks actually come out. Oh, dude, it's ridiculous. There's something about this that I'm out of focus again. So much to play with, Pinner, and it is. It really is. This mobile suit is gimmicks galore, and for the price point of it, it is unbelievable what they packed into it inside of there, but it's not. And I don't know why. Oh, you know what I did not do? I hope this isn't freezing on you, Pinner. If it does, stay with me. I just realized I did not connect a landline tonight. But fortunately, it should be a little shorter stream than typical. I really just wanted to share this with you guys since everybody's been hanging out to watch it. And I noticed people's watching the last VOD of the build, so I thought, why not do a review? And it's kind of a good way of shifting gears for me to start Beargguy and the Kasai. But yeah, a lot to play with. I love this extra piston. I love this, how it actuates with the movement in the bottom. I mean, just really cool. Kind of confusing as I built it, but once I figured out how it actually works, it's like, oh man, that's genius. And that's just getting up to the waist. Like, there's more up above here. I'll zoom back out and readjust the camera. On that note, one thing I didn't show you is underneath here. So I gotta unclip this. To get the back thruster off, there actually is a button that you push and it pops it off easier. Let me show that to you on the back side. It'll make more sense. So anyway, this doesn't have a lot of pivot to it. Not a lot of movement with that. It doesn't pivot from side to side either, just vertically. There. But this little button right here has a notch up here that connects to that actually locks it in place. And it's quite effective. It's a little hard to push, but it does its job well. So, allow me to zoom in. Let me pitch up just a hair. Guys will have to forgive me. I need to hire a cameraman. If anybody knows anybody looking for an editor, I might know someone that might have some spare time on their hands. Anyway, we got that. You know, and as we're getting to the top here... Oh, light! Turn back on. Let me turn this key light on so there's not so much shadow on the other side. Hold on, I gotta find the right color. That's better. I hope that's a little better view. What's funny is, believe it or not, I'm shooting this in a dark room with the lights just focused on the unit. You get a better response out of this little Fuji I'm using. Anyhow. So, this is kind of a cool gimmick. I guess that this little thing actually acts as almost a lock up against this, you know, the back skirt when it's attached. Sorry, that's out of focus. But it actually leans up against there and kind of keeps it from back pivoting under the weight of the shields. But, these guys open. A little higher up. Ah, there we go. How's that? If that's bad, just let me know. But those flip open, and this is actually a scene out of the anime, so it's kind of cool that they included this. Oh, they're so hard to pull out. I'm trying to do it without my hand in the way for you guys. I'm such an amateur. There we go. They just extend and then kind of lock in place, and they got a little up and down pivot. And then this also, a little higher up. Sorry, it's kind of hard to tell where I'm locking the camera sometimes. Let me come back a little bit so we can get to the arms as we work our way around. That's a good happy place right there. But this guy drops down and just reveals some detail. It's a pretty good amount of detail. And I do love all the color separation that they did. They did a really, really good job with the color separation. And then when you come around to the other side, you guys have seen the LED gimmicks 1,000 times. So I don't know if I need to get into that. But I showed you guys this earlier. We'll do it again though, because the shields were on and it made it kind of hard to see. But those come out, and then they're hard to line up, but they slide up. And I'm not sure what the function of that's supposed to be. It just shows it in the manual, so I guess I'm running with it. If anybody out there actually knows, let me know. I'm really curious. Oh, we lost a piston there. I'll have to fix that later. That explains why that was falling off on me. The pistons are actually what keeps these pivotable. And they do pivot. There we go. Let me see if I can get the arm out of the way. I might be able to actually show that to you guys. But, right there. There's that piston. Oh, that's what I did last time. There we go. There we go. Arm's got a good range of movement. You know, fully capable of the double bend. Going across the chest. Does that nicely too. Try not to be heavy-handed with this. You know, good amount of posability. Oh my gosh. This is why we can't have nice things. Oh, forgive me for 1 second. I gotta remember how this goes together. Oh, I'm having a yard sale. There's parts everywhere. Live reviews are a little difficult. We'll get through this. There we go. Back together. We lost our gold caps though. Oh, there's a notch there. Where's that at? Anyway, so that's kind of the arms in the backpack. Oh, on the backpack. You want to get to the batteries that make all of this work, and you need to change them out. The easiest way to do it is you simply take the backpack off, and that's how you get to the batteries. Got two little notches there, goes right back on, and it's easy to line up because it has to fit over the top of this. And this is actually, for any of you Gunpla builders that struggle with backpacks on, say, like, you know, all of them, this one stays on pretty well. And it's easy to get back off. The other gimmicks on the arms, I do like that they gave the wrists a double pivot. There's just a whole lot of range of motion in that wrist. Oh, that was a terrible view. I'm sorry. Let me do that again. Like being in an earthquake, I know. But, there we go. That's a little better view. Yeah, on the wrist here, it's a double pivot. One above and one below. Almost similar to how the Zaku 2 is, but, like, expanded and lengthened. But it's got a pretty good free amount of moment. And I like how they made the gauntlet overhead piece move with it. I think that was a nice touch that gives it a little bit more realism at the end of the day. And then the last part of the arms, and I'm hoping this will make more sense when I get to the armor, but would be this expansion here. And I don't know if that's an armor expansion or if there's supposed to be something there that I haven't attached yet. Anybody that plays Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2, the Kshatriya on that actually has a laser beam in there, or a beam blaster, or whatever you want to call it. Particle beam cannon, I guess. In this instance, I'm not sure what it's for. Maybe that's where the beam sabers are kept. I'm hoping that surfaces soon. And the last gimmick, I think, is actually the head unit. And it's really nothing terribly spectacular. Essentially, I might actually have to take this off to show this to you guys. So let's pop this guy off. The other one I actually didn't show you guys. If you want to get the shoulders off, they armor locked them. It's actually kind of cool. You can pop this guy up. I'm not doing it well. Oh, you gotta take these off first. Focus. But anyway, the whole unit will actually come off. Focus. Camera. If you actuate this armor lock on the top of the shoulder, you can take the whole shoulder unit off. The only caveat to that is you do have to take the gold pieces off first. But the last of the gimmicks. Oh, and this one's kind of cool. I guess this is the other way to take the arms off. Up here, this is a legitimate armor lock. And it locks, focus, onto this tab right here with focus, this pen. It's very clever. They did a really good job. The last gimmick, as far as the inner frame is concerned. Hello, Ricardo. Oh, it's okay that you're late. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. The only thing I have to warn you is I forgot to plug the landline in before starting the stream. And so now it's too late. I'll mess everything up if I do. But if you have any questions, man, we'll go back over some stuff again. I've actually kind of gotten to the last part of disassembling her, but I'm happy to show you anything you may wonder about. But the last gimmick is this. It may be better to take the backpack off, and let me zoom in just a hair more. It's her head. And the head expands when you fold the fin back. I don't know if you saw that. I'll try to do it with the tweezers so my hand's not in the way. That's it. That's the last expansion on her. Outside of putting the armor on, there's quite a few expansions that I haven't got to yet because they're part of the armor. Zoom back in. There we go. And I hope the angles are okay. I wanted to use my black booth for this and get rid of the background, but it's too big to put on my desk and shoot at the same time. It was just too hard to work with. I tried it with kind of a little bit of a practice run. Did I disconnect on you guys? I hope not. But yeah, Ricardo, she came together quite nicely. If you're here, I guess what I'll do is I'll slowly put her back together. And maybe show you anything you wonder about along the way. I might do one last stream in regards to this, and maybe I'll do it tonight if anybody's going to hang around. I need to build the base. I haven't built the base yet, and as I go into paint, I'm realizing that having the base is gonna make it a lot easier process. I do like the way they did this. I'll try to show you guys the reverse of what I did as Ricardo stepped in. But I'm glad you could make it, Ricardo. And there is no being late around here. We shows up when we can shows up. A magician is never late, nor is he early. He arrives merely when he was meant to. I think Gandalf said that one time. Something similar. Definitely something similar. My sister and niece both apologized for destroying my kit, and my fat cat burning Gundam arrived today. Oh, I'm so glad you got the fat cat. I do like that burning Gundam. That's actually a build I wouldn't mind getting along the way. I just like the design. I have yet to see the series, but I do like the design. I'm glad they apologized for that. That was very nice of them. Hopefully they will maybe get you a new one at Christmas time or for your birthday, or just because they feel bad would be nice. But apologies are good. And usually when people do things such as that, if you're not a builder, I've been a little heavy-handed with this. I've broke a couple parts. I have to fix the waist skirt. You know? Right now I'm holding it on with sticky tack. So it does happen. And I'm not a master builder, but I know to be gentle, and I'm still a little heavy-handed. See if I can do this and give you guys good view as I do it. Let me try it from the bottom. Ah, there. That's better. I do like the range of motion they put into these. Disconnecting and reconnecting. Ricardo, if my stream is pausing on you, I'm sorry. Bear with it. It will keep rolling. It's because I didn't plug the landline in, and I will not do that again. But, Ricardo, were you able to see it all lit up? I finally got batteries. So we're able to light the shields up now. I think the next stream, if I don't start it tonight, will probably be maybe assembling the base for this, and then I think I'm going to maybe disassemble Beargguy live and do the paint prep for it, the sanding and putting it on the sticks. Because I'll end up taking a lot of the frame pieces out of the armor pieces and doing those separately, but I'll put them back together so that I'm painting big pieces in one swoop. Some of them. No, she told me not to leave my kits around. Also, I had to make an emergency order. I placed all orders for seed and wing metal frames. Oh! Ooh, how many did they actually make for seed? I didn't know there was any wing metal frames. Like, I have a few from the UC universe, and I know there's quite a few in the seed universe. But I didn't know they did any of the wings. I thought the wing frames were relatively complicated, because don't they transform? I haven't, so I built the high-grade original Wing Gundam. It was one of the first kits I did, and I didn't know a lot about Gundam at the time. I didn't watch Wing when it was on Cartoon Network. And, it's a little complicated. I mean, simple kit. But, so, my only real qualms with this kit, for everything that you get with it, because it's not exactly a cheap one, but it is a nice one. For the money, you're getting a lot, I feel. I really do. Between the coatings, the gimmicks, the hatches, the posability. So one of the really cool features of it, I don't know how I can show you guys this without kind of getting into a can of worms of parts falling off of me. So I'm going to take the skirts off to do it. At least the front and back. And I know I just put the back skirt back on, but hey. Which way do I push you to get you off? In? Oh, it's up. There we go. Okay. So I don't know if you guys noticed this with the hips. This is, I have not seen this on another kit. I don't know if anybody's, I haven't built any perfect grades. I've built a handful of master grades thus far, but not a perfect grade yet. So this may be a feature that is on a perfect grade or something. But I ordered all metal frames for the Gadex series and the Astrays. The wing metal frames are for the Endless Waltz version. Yeah, I remember you telling me you were going to build that. That is an involved kit, and one I would actually like to build and paint. I think the wings on that is a pre-shading nightmare that could be, when pulled off, look absolutely just elegant and exquisite. You know, Ricardo, as you're building that, I think I finally got my actual community page working, where if you guys would like to post any of your builds, pictures of them along the way, I would love to see them. And other people watching the channel will probably check it out and leave you some comments too. So feel free to leave them there. I think you just go to my channel and go to the community posts, and up near the top somewhere it'll ask you what your thoughts are, and feel free to upload pictures of that. I like to see what you guys are building. I'm relatively new to the hobby, and part of the reason I started doing this was multi-purpose. One, I wanted to enhance my skills as an editor doing video, and with the hopes of potentially maybe bringing in some clientele eventually. And also because I like the hobby so much, I don't really know anybody in it, and this I figured was a good way of sharing stuff with people. So yeah, feel free to share whatever you want on there. All I ask is be nice. And, you know, nothing that wouldn't be like safe for work. But right here, there's a tab. And I think I just locked them. Yeah, I just locked them. When you unlock them, watch this. We're going to switch. We just made her lopsided. Now, in case you missed it, and I don't know, has anybody ever seen this on a kit before? As for last Saturday, I didn't get out as early as expected. I got out around noon. There were a few problems with 3 houses we did 2 weeks ago. That's an inevitability in the business. I actually, Ricardo, today's kind of a happy day for me. I think I'm starting at a new cabinet shop here soon. I didn't get the position I applied for, but the position they gave me is actually pretty good. I'm rather excited about it. I may not be doing as many live streams during the business days, but that's a good thing because I got to make an income too. Ah, well, thank you, my friend. Thank you. It's a big relief, and what they gave me, you know, the offer was for what I'm going to be doing. It's a good offer. I'm very happy with it, and it's a place that's super close to home. Sometimes I think one of the things about construction that you don't realize unless you're doing it yourself is the act of getting to work, loading and unloading tools and setting them all up. There's a lot of it that gets just absorbed by you. Yeah, Pinner knows what I'm talking about. Word, Pinner. But yeah, I'm glad you at least got out. Unfortunately, I can't think of any time I've worked in the field where I'm not hoping I get off at 3 o'clock, but odds are I'll be there till 4 because something's going to go wrong. And, well, it's guys like us that fix it. And that's probably why you were there late, I'm assuming. You sound like you're very capable. And it's us capable guys that usually do the good stuff. Well, you already said it. You had 3 houses you did 2 weeks ago that you had to fix, which means you're the go-to guy for that. That's probably why you built Gunpla. But I do just think this alternate pivot feature in the hips is pretty awesome as far as the posability. If you guys would like to see it, I would do it. But this thing actually does the full, I guess it's what they call the exit protocol of full crouch at the knees, being able to lean forward and put one hand on the ground. It's a little tricky to get her into it, but she can do it. Ricardo, since you got here late, if you don't mind, if you're willing to hang around for it, I would love to put the binders back on and show you the full LED effects. Sunday I stayed it on the MK2, unfortunately. The Void took a piece. Oh! Ricardo, if it's any consolation, I have yet. So I can actually, now that we're at this angle, you see this piece here? This guy. This little guy right here. You look over here at the other arm. Somewhere in the void, that piece be. Fortunately, this might be a long shot for me, but I'm wondering if I could make another one of these out of a piece of runner. And I think I might be able to pull it off. If I do, fixing that and fixing the front skirt, which, let me put these guys on and we'll reapply that, is might be a short, like, how-to video. Nothing real long. Just something that I kind of feel like I wish I had ran across more good repair videos earlier in my building endeavors. As I was doing my first painted build, it would have been cool to know a little bit more. Have some good tutorials, because there was a lot of parts I fixed because I just didn't know what I was doing. I'm determined to find it. I won't let the void take it. No, and the funny thing is it will turn up if how it's gone for me in the past with parts like that. I have had parts that I've had missing for months on end, and I'm looking for them in all these places I think they'll be, and then they randomly show up in like another room of the house. And again, that goes back to sometimes I wonder if they like stick to my shoe. I hope you do find it. The void won't keep it forever. It'll eventually give it back. It might have just wanted to borrow it for a minute to keep you from losing it in the future. That's how I like to think of it. It just took it for a minute until I really need it. And then it's going to give it back. All right. Let me remember which way these goes. So, Ricardo, were you here for me to show you the armature gimmick? Ah, well, thank you, Wolfpack. You're getting here, after I started with it fully assembled and kind of took it apart. You're actually just popping in at a perfect time, because we're kind of going back together and working backwards through the gimmicks. And I don't mind. I'm actually having fun playing with it. So if you got any questions about anything that you may wonder about this kit, feel free to ask and I'll show them to you as best as I can. I thought about doing a review video for this one, but since I've had so many people stopping in for the live build, I figured why not do it live. Ah, thank you, Ricardo. I will. So, Pinner was here earlier when I kind of went over the armature gimmicks and how they lock. It's actually really cool. This is the part that mounts to the shoulder. Obviously, the shield goes here. My favorite part, honestly, really is the piston. I love pistons. I don't know if anybody's built the full mechanics Barbatos. I would like to at some point. It's so hard to get that to focus, right? How's that? There we go. That's good. But I do love the pistons. The cool part is I mean, these shields are heavy. This kit weighs, I think, about 3 or 4 pounds. Kind of guessing. Yeah, they are nice. Those mechanics are insane, aren't they, Wolfpack? Like, so the center lock, this is cool. Push it in, locked. Oh, no, sorry. Push it out. Hold on, you got to get it in one of the spots. Why is this one not doing it? Oh, I'm not down. Down, locked. Ah, you got to get in it. There we go. No movement. Little up. Yeah, movement again. And then the last one, you'll have to forgive me. If I put my hands in a bad place, tell me to show it to you again. I don't mind. It's that simple. And I mean, I really am. The engineering on this one is... I've only built a few master grades, you guys, but this one's like just so over the top. So that's the armature gimmick. Let me get this down so that when we put the shields on, we're not super high up in the air. Out of focus again. Bear with me, guys. Once I get these shields back on, we'll light her up. Oh, I might have messed this up when I took this off earlier. Hold on, I have to take her off of here. I won't get this set right. There's a notch here I got to get into. Where is that notch? There it is. Okay, we're back. Still didn't get it. There we go. Yeah, on these guys, if you don't have, there's a notch, one notch on them that's on the inside here, and if you don't get it in there, you won't get the armatures for the shields in. I don't know why I'm calling them armatures. The instruction calls them arms, but I guess I just like to sound techie. The only thing I will say is it is a lot to play with. Like, when I do get this painted, I can almost guarantee I'm going to put it in a pose and do my best to never, ever touch it, except to maybe open the shields and show people the lights on occasion. And I'm hoping that the lacquers don't weaken this plastic too much. That's always, you never know what that's going to do. I don't know if anybody out there paints their kits, but there is a thing about lacquer and panel lining, I guess, on bare plastic, though I don't know if I've ever had that problem yet. That it makes the plastic very weak and brittle. Oh, I didn't show this to you, Ricardo. So, what's funny is this actually acts as like a little bit of a stability post to that. I might have said that earlier, but it also has a movement gimmick. If that drops, this drops down to reveal the... I guess I could zoom in for you. Little upness. Little up, little up. There we go. But, yeah. Guy goes up. And in. That would be fully closed. Forgive the hand, you guys. I tried to do this with tweezers, but they're hard to grab onto. And that would be the fully open. And there is a pivot. There's a little pivot. Oh. Pivot. I'm still debating on whether I'm going to put LEDs in some of these thrusters. I was telling Pinner earlier at the beginning of the stream, in looking at the feet and these thrusters back here at the bottom of the ankles, we'll get back down to those, I promise, that I'm very tempted to add a few more LEDs to it in just some of the thruster places. You guys will have to forgive my messy desk. I don't know if you guys can see all the runners back over here in the background. Those still have parts on them. I did want to show this to you guys, though. This is the spent runners. I could start a Plamo factory after building this. We're going to flip that back up. Oh, the other thing about the backpack. Really easy to take off, and that's how you change the batteries. We'll do it that way. It's a little quicker. Less buttons to push. You guys will have to forgive me. This is the first time I've ever done a live build review. So I hope it's okay on your end. I certainly don't mind some notes. Feel free to leave comments on them even after the live stream and tell me that, you know, it was great, but I need to get my hands out of the way or this or that. I don't mind the criticism. So, you got to do that to... This is a little tricky. Oh, you know what? Before I put the shields back on, allow me to show you the movement in the waist. And I guess I should bend the legs for you and show you guys that before we put it back together with the lights. So waist movement. There's two pivots. She can bend. She's got some bend. And there's another one here too. Oh. Yeah, so the top one up here. Oop. And then that one. I don't know what just clicked there. Kind of made me nervous. I think I just moved this funny. I hope that's all I did. Something went click. But yeah, she's got some full movement. I guess before I put that back skirt back on, if you guys want to see, this is kind of, as far as I know, and again, I am not a seasoned builder. Some of you have probably built a lot more kits than I have. As far as I know, this is the test of how posable a kit is. And on this one, I don't know if you were here for this a minute ago, Wolfpack, but this is a lock that locks the slide motion of this going up and down, not so much the pivot. I lost a thruster. But you can move them, these two hips, lock independently. And I can swap them. And I've never seen a kit that waist skirt needs a new part. I have yet to see a kit that can do that. Since I have it there though, I'll go ahead and throw it into full. So the knees do bend. Like, we get full bend out of those. Let me lock that. Why aren't you locking? But she does do... Not doing this well. Come on. There's a balance point here that once I find it, she's very well stable. There we go. She does do the kneel. Quite well. I knocked her over. I feel like I'm being so heavy-handed with this. So very heavy-handed. I like to build, and I'm decent at it, but I am not good at handling my Gunpla. Of course, this is probably the most I've handled this since doing it. Anyway, see if we can get her back into... Good locking in the feet. I don't know if I showed you guys that. So they stay, and the feet detail. Feet detail is actually amazing. It's gonna be a lot to paint. Forgive the sticky tack on there. That was a pose that I did the other day for one of my thumbnails. Anyhow, we're almost back together. And then I'll light her up. Bull in a Gunpla shot, Pinner says. Yeah, kinda. I've been known for dropping things. Pinner, believe it or not, I once got salsa in my eye from skateboarding. My friends all laughed. Lock that waist in. That's actually, I can tell any of you guys, if you build this thing and you're having trouble with the legs, like just not even holding up the weight, it is more than likely that tab back there not being locked in place. All right, let's get the shields back on. Now, after I do this, I may have to adjust these to balance it, because I never know how it's going to sit until I get them all on. Did you see her shift? Did anybody else see that? Like, watch this. Watch when I take this shield off. It's subtle. Let me try to rotate her a little bit more so she's straight on. But watch her lean. Okay, see that? Just that little... This is how heavy these guys are. I think each shield's about a pound. I really do. She just... I don't know if you can see it in the camera. I mean, it's painfully obvious to the naked eye when you're in the room with her. Oh, Ricardo, no worries. I'm assuming you have to work tomorrow. You know, Ricardo, before you go, allow me just very quickly to open these shields up for you, because you were here for like the whole build, man, and I really just want you to see it, and we're there. As she tips. Oh, Pinner said it. Pulling a Gunpla shop. Backpack fell. I think this is my most befuddled live stream ever. Anyway, Ricardo, if you got to see it, I hope so. If not, thank you for stopping in tonight, man. I hope you have a good day at work tomorrow. And, the cutting of the wood is nice and easy. And I mean that. But, yeah, there we go. That is the 666 Kshatriya. It's been a very fun build. And I appreciate everybody who's popped in to watch it with me. Uh-oh. Oh, the magnet. So, for Ricardo, Wolfpack, Pinner, anybody who's here, I think Pinner's seen it already. When you want to turn them off, you simply take said magnet that they give you, which is actually a part piece that sits on the base, kind of looks like a little barrel. I'm not going to zoom in on it at the moment because it's non-consequential at best, but there's a couple little details you hear, and you simply hold it there for, I guess, 2 seconds? I might be doing the wrong side. And it turns them off. It's really very cool. Very easy to mess with, very easy to operate. So my thoughts on this. If you're building it, be very leery of the center skirt mount. If you put it in backwards, it will likely get stuck and you won't get it back out. Now, if you're not disassembling it for paint, may not be a problem. But once I realized mine was in backwards, the alignment was a little off, and there's a bevel on the tabs, and it won't come out once you put it in without breaking the tabs. So be very, very careful about that. Short of that, it's a wonderful kit. And on that note, that was operator error. There are a few spots that you have to be very gentle with as the plastic is thin because it's designed to be layered, but once you join the layers together, it strengthens up really, really well. It's a big kit. There were a few places that after the build I realized that I skipped a few parts. There's a couple caps that go up here. I didn't apply them because I'm painting it anyway. I'll do it after I paint them. And there's a couple runners you'll have extra parts for. But I think for around the $200 price point that this thing is, you're getting a lot of good build time as well as just an absolutely fantastic display piece at the end of the day. My only real true complaint about it is for everything that they did, I don't understand why we don't have articulated fingers. On the other hand, they did give you a central handpiece for each figure configuration, so you can actually make all 3 versions of it, much like a metal build comes, and you just swap out the whole hand. There's a few kits where you have to sit there and swap out this part with this part. At least here they gave you whole hands, so it's an easy pop on, pop off. Before I actually get to painting this, I may try to get my hands on some of the 3D printed posable Neo Xeon fingers, any of the 1/100 scales. And I'm hoping I can. I think it'll add a nice touch to it, and for as complicated as the kit is, I think it deserves it. The base is phenomenal. I'm sorry I haven't built the base yet on live stream, but that will probably be one last live stream before I get to the bear. If not, I may double up on that stream. I think I might be able to pull both off. It doesn't seem terribly complicated to build, but there's a little nuance to it. It's a great kit. I highly recommend it. In total, I got about 50 hours in building it. Mind you, that was live stream. I think if somebody was a speed builder, you might be able to build this kit up to this point in 30 hours. I don't know how much more the armor is going to be as far as involvement is concerned. I'm going to disassemble what we have here and do a little painting and some detailing, and most of that will probably be live. And probably do that before I actually do press onto the armor. I might do some of these white pieces as far as getting the frame assembled as I go. But I recommend the kit. If you guys want to know anything about it, feel free to ask me. Otherwise, I think I've kind of showed you guys everything I can with this thing. And, you know, at this point, I can tell you the next couple streams will probably be building the base for this, as I've realized that it's just too big, bulky, and top heavy for me to attempt to paint this without having some form of something to keep her stable. She balances well, but she does try to lean over on me a couple times. I just broke one of the parts off the back of it. I'll give you guys a nice rotation, if you'd like. But it really is a gorgeous kit. I can't wait to get the armor on, and I'm a little intimidated by all the detail in painting the inner frame just to cover it up, but I think that's how I'm going to really feel like I did something here, is I think adding that detail that you don't see unless you take the panel off is, for me, going to make all the difference in the world. I'm hoping with this to make something that someone would be proud to display in their office, you know? And by that I mean, you know, one of those things you walk in and you see, you know, the occasional model ship or something like that, and you're just thoroughly impressed by its craftsmanship. At the end of the day, when this is finished, I hope that's what it is. This one's going to be a fun paint job because of all of the colors. I have yet to really had a chance to spray. I've done a lot of metal colors as I did the Dynamiz, but I haven't really had a chance to spray a lot of I haven't done a lot of yellows or reds, and this has quite a bit of it on there, and I'm kind of excited about it. One of the reasons I picked Beargguy as my actual next paint, as far as, you know, complete build paint, is it's an easy paint job, and I kind of want to play with a little bit of candy, and it's got a lot of broad surfaces. Next stream we might be prepping him for paint and building the base. And I think that's might how it goes. If not, I may actually primer Beargguy and do a stream of the little bit of scribing I'm going to do to it after primer. I've learned that if you do the primer first, the art of scribing can be a little bit more forgiving when you miss. That's one of those. If any of you guys have any tips on that as we get to it, I would love to hear them. It's something I've dabbled in, but by no means have bastard. On that note, I thank all of you for dropping into this stream. Please leave some comments and let me know what you thought of the build all overall. And I was telling Ricardo earlier before he left, if you're still here, Wolfpack, I've got my community page up. If you have any builds yourself that you're doing that you'd like to share, I'd love to see them, and I'd love to share them with everybody else that may pop in. So feel free to put them up there. Some of those I may actually show everybody on stream. I think it's time that I see what you guys are building, if you're willing to share them. So I would love to see it. Oh, my hands feel like they've been in black gloves for the last hour and a half. On that note, anybody watching out there, I really thank you. You guys have been very supportive through this build, and I actually can't believe how many people have stopped in and enjoyed it with me on more than one occasion. It's a nice feeling. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you're just tuning in, every little bit helps, and it also is a good indicator to me to keep going about it the way that I'm doing. If you have any tips or pointers or things you'd like to see me incorporate into the live stream, let me know. And I will be dropping some more videos here soon. And thank you, Pinner. You know, it's been awesome that you've been here for most of it, and I really do thank you for it. It means a lot to me. On that note, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. I've had a bit of a long couple days, and I need to do a little bit of a reset and kind of prepare for the next bit of what's going to stream. But on that note, I think I'm gonna go get some food and maybe play some video games. If anybody's on the PlayStation Network, you can come beat up on me in some GBO2, because I haven't played in a minute. But yeah, thank you guys for stopping in. Again, if you're not subbed to the channel, I'd love it if you would, but no pressure. Either way, just pop in and say hi from time to time. And I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Let me know what you think of this build. I'd love to hear it. And again, if anybody's building anything or working on anything, even if it's Ungumpla related, if you run into a rare toy out in the wild at a collectibles shop, I love to see that stuff. I really do. I ran across a Cyclone from Muspedia the other night. Actually, I think it's a Ribioid if it's Muspedia, but either way, it was an old vintage classic and it was very cool, and I had to post about it. So, the forum is open to you guys if you'd like to share anything. And on that note, I really am officially out of here. I love that all of you stopped in, and I really do thank you for it. I will see you guys later. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be working on a bear.